Hello, I'm Austin Bradley, and I'm doing my quick answers on Sandel's Chapter 5, What Matters is the Motive, the Philosophies of Immanuel Kant, or Immanuel Kant. Apologize in advance if I make any jokes or puns about that name, but just giving you a heads up on it. On the differentiations of a outright lie and a misleading truth to tell. Reality speaking, it is wrong to do either. Why? Because it's like what comedian Jerry Clower used to say. Some people will climb up a tree backwards to tell you a lie than to just stay on the ground and tell you the truth. Well, with a misleading truth to tell, you're climbing up a tree halfway and getting on a branch that may hold you or may break you once more questions are prodded about that misleading truth. Misleading truth is the truth until there may be more questions to test that truth well into being an outright lie overall to start with. Politicians are well experienced in many countries for many centuries on misleading truths. And here in this country, Bill Clinton being one of the latest presidents to do so with the Monica Lewinsky scandal, there have been many elected officials for years here who have done that, most notably Abraham Lincoln. If you watch the 2012 movie of Lincoln, you could see my point on it. Misleading truths, practically, it could be feasible. Immanuel Kant was somewhat persuasive on that statement, and so is Michael Sandel. But at the same time, that's if you don't have a moral identity established, like I talked about many times before. Morally, it's a burden, while practically it is feasible, but morally it is unjust because at any time it could be a lie. So a misleading truth to tell can cause more harm than good in the long run once further questioned about it. But if it's just questioned one time with one thing, yeah, maybe you could get away with it. But as anonymous as we are, it would be hard to conceive to try to apply that in everyday life. I have done that before in the past, telling misleading truths, and it is wrong, really, because if people have conscience, they could feel that it is something wrong to say something misleading, because being misleading is deceiving. But it is one of those kind of truths to where you could get away with it as a truth if it's only explained once, but if you have to have more questions to explain that reason of the misguided truth, then it's going to be an outright lie. So practically yes, because certain articles in the me philosophy terms which we've learned support it, from libertarianism and utilitarianism and so forth. But morally, it is wrong. It's impermissible because it can have many reconnotations with it. So really, it is not well to do so. Now, for having a constitution rewritten for this day or this evening, November 4th, in the year of our Lord 2015. Talking like one of the founding fathers here. Time warp. I just can't believe that. But anyhow, back to seriousness here. Many of the constitutional amendments we have in place does give some security to our national well-being and welfare. I would add more, but the two most important ones that I would definitely try to emphasize in our Constitution. Number one, participating in civic virtue services. Basically, if you attend church or if you work hard well for what you do instead of just trying to be lazy and count on entitlement programs, unless if you truly deserve it if you're under poverty guidelines. And to vote. A lot of men and women have shed their blood in many conflicts just to secure the civic virtues we have here as a nation. If you do those civic deeds to promote greatness in this nation, I think you should be rewarded. Just like a My Coke Rewards program or a My Kellogg's Family Rewards program. If you keep doing those civic virtue standards, to just be active in those every chance you can, you could get points for reward money in this country. Maybe if you have enough points, you could use for a tax deduction or a tax write-off because you're promoting the greatest welfare of society, and we have the freedom to choose. So this wouldn't really inhibit any kind of consent of rights, because really we could decide to do what we can, and if we choose to promote the welfare of the greatest good for this nation, I think we could be rewarded for that in the long run. So rewarding individuals who do the right things of civic virtue for this country, of doing the civic chores that we need to do, which could be fun with rewards. I think that should be one of the big amendments to the Constitution. Another amendment that I would be for is end the bickering and the fussing of all kinds of events that have been going on that have already been concluded many years ago in the first place, especially like with white police officers trying to discriminate against black individuals, especially young ones. The Civil War was fought many years ago to declare that all men are created equal. Try to give some respect to African Americans and minorities, because if you're a white police officer and trying to hurt that person just for doing some kind of instance, think about the many men who have lost their lives to make sure that everyone is equal. So try to treat everybody well. Treat people the way you want to be treated, because who knows, but one that could have lost his life in the Civil War could have been your great-great-grandfather or your great-great-great-great-great-uncle. Could be a relative. So think twice before you try to be an abuser in the legal system. And as well as for minorities, for the conflicts which we haven't resolved yet, like for gay and lesbian marriages and illegal immigrants coming here. Treat them well with respect, and if they earn their way to their rightful places of citizenship and of civic virtue, they should be praised rather than being put down. Because this is a United States of America, not a divided States of America. So appreciate everybody who lives in this country, not being so hateful and repudiative. Those are my 2 points, and by the way, if you participate in just non-holiday kind of things, like I'm growing a beard this month because it is No Shave November month to promote prostate cancer awareness. Or back on the 3rd, there was a National Sandwich Day. So, I mean, if you participate in those kind of holidays, I think I should be rewarded as well, because you're promoting the greatest good for a successful nation. So that's my feedback, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you can or can't dispute me on this video. Appreciate it. Have a good evening, or a good day to you, depending on which time again you see this video.